now we're still talking about your sisters, your great-great-grandmothers.
No, my grandmother married Mr. Kinney, and he was diabetic and had cancer. And I think he must have been very smart, but he was never really able to work for long.
So your grandmother, Louise Nunenmacher,
Right.
married Mr. Kinney.
Mr. Kinney, and became Mrs. Kinney, Mrs. Louise Kinney.
And about what era do you think that is? I guess.
Yeah, I was born in 42, and my mother was 21, 23 when it happened. That would be 1888 or so when she was born. And 20 years before that would be 1860 when the grandmother was born.
Okay.
So that would be roughly 1840 when her parents were born. When was the gold rush?
It was a minor 49er. 1849 was the gold rush. Okay, so what do you know about her then, Louise Kinney?
Her father built a house for her.
Do you know her middle name?
No.
So she was born Nunenmacher and then became Kinney?
Right.
And married only once?
Yes. And her father built the house for her. And he may have worked at one time, but during my mother's growing up, he was not working, and she was taking care of him and cooking him. And she had a sister 10 years after her, and she was taking care of the sister. And my grandmother worked sometimes at a children's clothing store, very sporadically here and there, and had a great deal of trouble making a living, really. But
Louise had him.
Yes, Louise
had trouble making a living. Okay. And
so I suspect the family helped him out.
Okay.
When they could. I do know that every day Jo, one of the sisters, would walk from her house to my grandmother's house, and the two of them would walk all the way down the hill to the store and buy their daily supplies and walk back up the hill. Until one time when my grandmother was walking down the hill, some kid on a bicycle came down the hill and put his arm through her purse, which is over her shoulder, and stole the purse and knocked her down and made her afraid to go out anymore. And she was pretty old by that time, so I think she wasn't going shopping as often and was taking a cab or something instead. Seemed to have broken up the walks she was having.
So what do you know about her? When was the first time you met her?
I probably met her when the family came from San Pedro back up to the Bay Area. I know my grandfather
was
probably about 44.
Some deer.
Yeah.
Side of the road.
Right, and a couple on the other side of the fence too.
Or elk, I guess it's elk country, but those are deer.
So somewhere in 44, 45, when I was 2 or 3. And I know it was too late for her to see her father, because by the time they got settled in and she could go see him, that she's had a baby and couldn't get a babysitter or something.
Your mom?
My mom.
Okay.
So she wasn't able to say goodbye to him. So
Wait,
I'm assuming
I'm confused. Your mom was not able to say goodbye to
her father.
Her father. Mr. Kinney.
Mr. Kinney. So I'm assuming I never saw him either.